Okay. Right. So. We good? Okay. So we're getting ready to start the Friends of the Bartram Covered Bridge Historical Society and call to order. So Eric Gerst, Rosario.
Hi.
Daniel, Art. And that would be it, right?
I got Ed.
George?
Ed.
Oh, and Ed, I'm here. And Doug. Oh. Oh, okay. All right. Consider approving the agenda.
Motion.
Motion. Have a second?
Yeah.
Say aye.
Hi.
Okay. Status of 501c, discussion and possible action of reinstatement of nonprofit papers and tax forms. Real quick, Eric, I got the 990 EZ that I have to sign. Now, do I DocuSign or am I signing and handing?
Sign it. Scan it. Email.
Ellen?
Ellen.
And then the other action that we need to do with the back tax forms, is that something you can? I think there were some questions on there she left, but that weren't answered. So they have to be reviewed. And she recommended it. We have an accountant look at it.
I don't think.
Well, I think we might want to take a look at that. But for the reinstatement of that, so that's pretty, I'm going to sign this,
Yeah.
fax this to her, and then, but this won't go into effect until those tax forms, the previous 17, 18, and 19
Yeah.
are, okay. And then this goes into effect.
But yeah, but they were all signed.
But she did, in that email, she said something, there's a couple of questions that need to be answered.
I'll call her and talk.
Okay. Discussion and possible action of a new website for nonprofits. So I offered to put the money, I think it was 1,200 to put the money up to get it going, because we don't, to get things started. The same webmaster who built the Newtown Square Historical Society's website, so you can always go and see his work. With that, if I remember correctly, he monitors it for a year. I think it's done in WordPress. So, and I think WordPress is really workable. So after the year, we can decide how we want to go forward, if we want to handle it in-house or have someone do it for us. But I think it's important that we get the website going, because we could tell our story, we could build our plan so people can wrap their heads around it.
Let me ask you one thing,
Yeah.
just not to make things difficult, but where do we take the $1,200 from?
We don't have it.
Okay, so where do we take them from? I understand that we don't have it.
So I was going to offer to pay for it. And then when we raise money through,
Okay.
then you can pay me back.
Okay.
That's the only thing I could sort of think of.
Let me back up a little bit. And I followed up with a friend of mine that does marketing for private groups. And she said that WordPress is fine. It's a great format. But what we need to do is wrap our hands around what we're trying to do. And I'm going to use an example of a great organization to follow. And that is Tradifferent Historic Preservation Trust. And it was driven by one woman, Patty Benson. And she started 18 years ago trying to save a 1700s log barn in Tradifferent that was going to be torn down. And she said, that's not right. And the barn was right beside General House headquarters building during the fall campaign. So it's got a lot of history. So Patty started enlisting help from everywhere. She got some help from the township on permitting, help from local businesses, other groups, and started the Tradifferent Historic Preservation Trust, which has its own Facebook and its own webpage. And She started 18 years ago. And 2 weeks ago, she got the certificate of occupancy, the fully restored and reassembled barn that had been moved about 3 miles and set up in a great location. And I'm sure it cost several $1 million to do this. To disassemble the barn, to move it. They got Valley Forge Park to agree to store the logs.
She can give us some tips on how to structure this, basically, right? She can give us some suggestions how to present this.
Well, yeah, but what she did was she went out and got sponsors, businesses and companies, and patrons, individuals. And then over the years, she would do historic town tours every year in the fall and September. And you'd pay to go on the tour, and she arranged the whole thing from people in the area that had historic homes. So I know she did at least 13 or maybe 14 of those. And then she would also hold lectures that various people would do lectures for the Preservation Trust. And there was a fee to come in, and that collected money. She just did a launch cocktail party at a private estate down in Great Valley. And it was probably 200 people paid $50 a head to come and celebrate the fact that the barn's up. And they found a site to put the barn up, which was over by the Dupertail, the French general's headquarters house in Valley Forge. It had a barn foundation that had burned down. So they did that, and they built the old barn up on the old foundation. They had a log framer build the building. They ran out of raw materials. And the Fritz Lumber Yard in Berwyn, which was built in 1860, went out of business. And the people that bought the lumber yard gave all the building lumber, the wood and the beams and everything to the trust to finish it off. And Patty has just 18 years, this woman worked on it, raising money, raising awareness, and using social media and the webpage, and then holding events. And the events became the money generator to make things happen. And Newtown and Willistown both have the type of patrons that would go to events like that. And they have the type of patrons that would subscribe to a preservation trust. And
Did she get paid for this?
She got paid for this? Did she get paid for this?
no, she did it out of her own.
But see, this is the
But-
example.
but-
I don't know how this is going to help us. This is the example of a woman who embraced this battle.
We need to use her model.
Right, I understand. That's what I understood. I think we can, if she's willing to share
Right.
the approach she did, we can, if she's willing to, we can talk to her and
Well,
get
she's-
suggestions.
Doug was able to get her, amongst other people, to become members of the Friends of the Bartram Bridge Facebook page by sliding us into that.
You suggest to appoint her to this board?
Hmm?
Do you suggest to ask her to join these Friends of the Bartram Bridge?
No, what I suggest is we start looking at other successful groups that have done great things by using social media and web pages to generate funds.
And this is what we're discussing now, the website.
But that's what I'm saying is,
Yeah,
right now we haven't done much.
well, I know, but we're
And-
discussing to do it,
I
right?
know. So we have the Facebook pages, and the Facebook pages there's two Bartram Bridge Facebook pages.
Okay,
There's the old one that was set up in 2011, and the one Doug put up. And
The old one is there.
but it's a Facebook page, but and it's had 14 hits in 2021,
mhm.
14 posts, and 2 of them were repeats. And it's linked to the Newtown Square Historic Society.
Right.
And then the new one has had 19 hits. 7 of them were from Kathy at the Historic Society. 1 was from Jim Christ at the Paoli Battlefield, announcing an event we had. 5 of them were from Doug. And 1 was from the Paper Mill House and 1 was from the Square Tavern.
Okay.
Now, if I go to the Paoli Battlefield, which we are social media aggressive, we have 5,597 likes.
You also have 18 years of history.
No, the Paoli Battlefield is only 10 years old,
Okay.
but it also has 6,000 followers
Okay.
that follow it every day. It's got hundreds of photographs, 22 videos, and there's at least 1 event on the Paoli Battlefield monthly, either a lecture or a dinner. And there's also a cash donate button where you can go on the site and donate money.
These lectures and dinners are, where is the place where these lectures and dinners happen? I mean, it's just,
We do lectures in 2 restaurants, the General Warren Inn
okay.
in Malvern and the Black Powder Tavern in
Okay.
Valley Forge.
So you go to the restaurant, you book, you sell in some certain number of tickets for the dinner.
We charge $49.95 for dinner and a lecture.
Okay.
The restaurant caters the dinner with a buffet.
Okay.
We bring in the lecturers.
Okay.
They sell their books that they write. And the restaurant gets all the liquor receipts and gives us like $15 a head.
Okay.
So we make a lot of money from those dinner lectures. We also do.
And gives you exposure also, because it gives you exposure. The people who come to the dinner
Correct.
now
And-
knows about the issue.
And because of COVID, we've been doing a lot of our lectures on Zoom. And we ask for donations on the Zoom lectures. And on the Zoom lectures, we're getting people from Ohio and California and Arizona attending them. Now, with the Bartram's Bridge, we need to build things like that are mega tools.
I feel this topic should go to the adjournment for the next agenda. I don't know, we have the time to discuss this here, since it sounds like another additional approach.
And also, the page was formed, group was formed after the last meeting, just to show that I could do it. I haven't, it's been up on the shelf.
I know, I understand
It's been
that.
up on the shelf.
So we're trying to make
Because I
it,
didn't want to start raising money until I found out whether we have our exemption.
right, but
So you're saying all these things that all these other groups are doing, I understand, we can do things.
We can do things like
But
that,
in the last
but
month, it's just been sitting on the
okay.
shelf.
So what I'm trying to tell you is go to these web pages and these Facebook pages and spend time looking at them, and you will see the incredible amount of meat that's there to look at.
right, but Doug is saying it gives time to organize this. It's just very recent.
But
And,
what I'm trying to do is get you guys to have an idea of what we need to build. And I'll use an example. I mentioned in the beginning that on the Bartram Bridge story, the book that you guys put together is a great book, but there's not a lot of meat in the book to be able to run a long period of time. There's a small amount of photographs. So there's not a lot of meat that you can feed the people that you're trying to meet and you're trying to get money from.
Question, it's just a bridge.
I-
Paoli Battlefield is a thing that happened for the whole America to know about.
No, there's nothing at the Paoli Battlefield. It's a dirt field.
But I'm saying it's something that happened in American history where
Okay,
everyone,
So
you know,
what we
a little bit
did,
different about it.
we subscribed to a history thing. And at the battlefield, there's a
why
daily,
don't you call this to order, because I don't have time to stay.
there's a daily post. So if we're going to build a Facebook page, and if we're going to build a web page, we have to develop a lot of meat to go in there.
so we'll definitely take a look and we'll get our ideas.
Yeah.
And it's the beginning too, right? So we get started, we get motivated. Things
Well,
start-
the main message is that by having a simple website is not sufficient. We got that.
A website
Yeah.
won't do anything.
It's not
for you.
sufficient. I know, but it's a starting point, and that's
Yes.
what is on this agenda.
Somewhere you can
And
land.
let's stick with the discussion on this agenda
Yeah.
for now. All suggestions are welcome, and we'll see how we move forward, what else we can add to implement that more.
So that would actually, when you talk about would actually be discussion 5.3, right? Possible action of nonprofit website plans for
I think it's
fundraising.
been amply discussed at this point.
Yes.
We understand that.
What do we think? Can we get a motion to do a website?
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, yes, I second the motion. I think it's very
All in favor,
important.
say
to
aye.
have a site.
Fred, Pat.
But what I'm afraid of is we're gonna have a website and nothing will come of it.
I disagree. I really
Well,
do.
you know, you gotta do the website and see how we move from there.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's a really
Hey, if we don't make the
negative.
money, you don't have to pay me.
It's a negative approach to say that because the website is not enough, I'm really unsure what's gonna happen with the website.
Yeah.
You're
You
gonna, to get the website to
Buy
work,
the lottery ticket and maybe you win the lottery.
you're gonna spend 15 or 20 hours a week on that website, developing content and messages.
Well, then you bring it back me to the point where I said it's a catch because we don't have the resources for that. If you pay someone, Ed is kindly and generously offering his money to put the website up. Now, the 15, 20 hours a week, I don't know where they come from. You know, we will see. We'll do the best we can.
Yeah.
But most of us have jobs. I'm not retired. We have
Plus,
the time for
The
that.
person who's building the website is going to handle everything for the first year.
Right,
So we
right.
call Joe up and say, Joe,
Right.
we need this and that.
Right.
And,
Right.
and, you know, and all fair, so we look at, we go to the Paoli Battlefield stuff, and we start getting all these ideas, and if all these organizations, I think that what's gonna happen is, once we get it going, you know, it'll start growing legs, we'll start reaching out, we work with the historical societies all the time, so we're gonna get involved with Willistown's historical society too. So, you know, I think it's a great place to land and to put our story and get people to
Well, let's put this,
put it to vote.
you have, and I think a motion approved for the website, right?
I'm just warning
Yeah.
everybody that it's potential for not going where you think.
I know,
it's gonna
we
take
understood,
us.
we got the concept, we
Yeah.
understood it, we understood it,
I'm really concerned about it.
we understood it.
I guess we didn't pay the rent.
No, I guess they are timing the money, probably with time.
And real quick, Eric, the shopping carts, just real quick on the shopping cart. Let's just say things start going in our favor, right? Boom, 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 we're getting money. Shopping cart is something you add onto the website, like with Vistaprint or whatnot. It's a monthly charge, and I'm not exactly sure how much it is a month. We can look into it. But Eric, this is to your question, because I know Eric's always wanted to sell things like mugs and this and that.
Right,
So
right.
just a quick understanding of
You can put a PayPal connection to your webpage and your Facebook page, and you can buy right off of PayPal. You can post your own prices.
But Doug is a new treasure, Doug is your new treasure for this, and they do with the Historical Society, they sell the things through the website on the Historical Society, right, Doug?
You know, we did at one time.
Yeah,
But now not anybody remember seeing
But-
it before,
but-
so you know how to do it.
you got to understand what the big sellers are things like T-shirts and hats.
So when we get that going,
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure, but the nice thing is I noticed with Vistaprint, right? You buy one mug for $7 or whatever, and that mug gets photographed and put on your shopping cart. So when
Yeah, but
someone goes to buy the mug,
You don't need, well, you get all the tchotchke from somewhere else and you do that yourself and you don't have to pay the cost.
well, wait a minute. I know with Vistaprint, you buy one mug and we do the Photoshop and we take the picture. And then the first person who orders a mug, that order goes right to Vistaprint. We don't have no inventory, nothing.
I understand that. But a lot of these places, when you get T-shirts made, they do really poor silk screening rather than embroidery.
Okay.
And you got to be,
Well, we're gonna have to make the parameters for that. We're gonna have to decide who's,
I understand that.
Okay.
Because it's not as easy as you guys are thinking. And-
I have to say, I think we're really into the weeds here. I think we have to wait till the next meeting. During that time, come up with a plan That's Cody.
I mean, I hear talking about embroidered t-shirts versus sustainable t-shirt. We don't have the money even to make the website. Have to put
I think we should start the website and not wait for the next meeting.
I
to
think
do
that it's premature to talk about it.
And then at the next
quite
meeting,
frankly.
we can flesh out what's gonna go in there.
There's no doubt, no doubt. I
Alright.
said we get this thing going, and but that was my answer to Eric when you were talking about things to sell. That would be a shopping cart that gets added on, so we can discuss that later. But for now, we can get our website up and get a landing page and Doug, tell me if I'm right, can we have a link on our website for donations? Right, so if I tell someone, please go to my site,
Talk to
Yeah,
your
you have to get-
business
yeah.
developer.
yes,
You have to
Yeah.
get a PayPal account.
yes.
And
So
then-
I
and
like-
then-
I
and
like
then-
that you're-
And then that PayPal connection will also allow you to go to table events, like the Historic Day and stuff, and sell stuff there and run the card through the
Yeah.
equipment they give you.
Yeah.
So you're not just limited to your webpage.
Well, I like that we have a person on the board that's got great ideas, might want to take charge of that.
I don't have to reinvent it. It's already been done. That's the point I'm
Right,
making.
but I'm saying that you seem to know what's going on with all of it, so it would be good to have your input as we're going forward, but, okay. Items for next agenda would be discussing shopping carts and things like that, or,
Yeah, but I think we discussed the plenty of items for next agenda.
yeah,
Or have the webpage developer come in and show us what he's done.
yes. I'll work on that. Anything? Anybody else have any other?
Yeah, I'm just wondering first, Ed and I went to the bank.
Oh, yes.
I'm the signatory on the account. Others are as well. So that was accomplished. Our bank balance is $71.90. One question is, who has the checkbook? Originally, when you opened the account, I assumed checks.
Yeah, I think I have it. Oh,
Stop by and pick it up. And also, do we have a? Where's that?
the minute.
For the friends?
Yeah,
Well, I guess it's gonna be brand new, right?
generally when you incorporate, you get a minute.
Oh.
Articles of incorporation, bylaws, legal stuff.
Right. I'll have to check if I have it.
Yeah, because I just like to see what it says there.
Okay, I think that's it. Anyone, anything else? Can we adjourn this meeting?
I move that we adjourn.
Second? I'll say aye.
Aye.